Hello Informed Crows, I'm John from the Haunt Informer, and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Dark Nights for the 2024 haunt season. So today I'm going to tell you about my experience at Dark Nights at Hersheypark, and it's a really good time. I really enjoyed it. It's a mix of family-friendly event, but also really good quality jump scares, and the most intense attraction there is the Slaughterhouse Haunt, Antemortems. That's definitely the most intense out of all of them. It's the goriest, and they warn you ahead of time before you go through. They say this is our scariest and most gory house, so if you don't want to see that, do not go through this one, but if you're okay with that, go through. So they were making sure that everybody knew that ahead of time, so I'm happy they do that. So I'm going to break down all the attractions for you in this video, and I have a physical map they gave me, so I'm going to show you where the attractions are and try to give you a good guide of where to go so it's easier for you to navigate to the attractions for you. A lot of the attractions are in the far back of the park by Lightning Racer and Laugh Track. A lot of the attractions are right over there, like right next to each other, just slightly different areas. So that's mainly where they're going to be. One of them, the newest one, the State of Evil, is actually right after Fahrenheit, before the Fallout Zone Scare Zone, which is right before Tidal Force. It's right in that area, that water ride. So I'll show you all that on the map for sure. I'll show you actual pictures and charts and stuff so you know what I'm talking about. So thank you very much to Hershey for inviting me out as media. I really appreciate that. Thank you for letting me cover the event. And I also have mobile videos already on my channel. I show the Slider Showcase, the Decayed Brigade. They were amazing. Definitely check out my video in the corner on that. And I also did a video of a walkthrough of the Haunted Coal Mine, Curse of the Tommyknockers. I'll also be linked in the corner. So, and thank you very much for the support on those videos already. Thank you very much for that. I really appreciate that. So I start my night out checking in as media at the Great Bear Catering, that food area by Great Bear. And I checked in there with Amanda and Quinn. Shout out to them. Thank you very much for organizing everything and making it very easy to check in and cohesive and being very happy and welcoming. So I really appreciate that energy and happiness. And they were giving out these lanyards for free, these behind the scenes of Dark Nights lanyards. So that's really fun. It's a collectible I have now. They're also giving out old merch of like hats and beanies and things like that, and socks of different attractions they had. I grabbed one for the Haunted Coal Mine. I don't have it on me right now, but I got one of those, so thank you for having those. And I started my night out trying some of the food they had there. I tried the Voodoo chicken legs. It had a spicy sauce on them. It actually was legitimately spicy. I thought it would be because the sauce looked very bright red, so I was like, ooh, this is going to be spicy. I didn't even know eating it ahead of time. And then I tried it, and I was like, ooh, that is spicy. But it wasn't so spicy I couldn't enjoy it. Like, I was like, ooh, that's spicy. But then it, like, dies down some, pun not intended, and you just enjoy it. So I was able to eat it and enjoy it, and it was a good piece of chicken. I liked it. And I also tried a pulled pork slider with coleslaw on it. That was really good. I also tried the All Eyes on Meat, which were meatballs. I tried those. Those were pretty good. And the stars of the show with the dessert were the intestine cinnamon rolls and the cheesecake jar, which had a gummy eyeball on the top of it once you open the lid, which I think was hilarious. And the intestine cinnamon rolls really look like intestine. Like, I'll have pictures of these in this video after I talk about this so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And they really did look like intestines. It was gross, but tasted delicious. It just looked like that. And the cheesecake jar, that was delicious as well. Very good quality, delicious cheesecake in there, and chocolate and everything. And the gummy eyeball on top was hilarious. So I really loved that. So I definitely recommend checking out these food items when you're there. The food items at Hershey are good quality. Also, is a tasting pass option where you can have a limited amount of choosing mobile food options, and then they just know you have it because you bought the tasting pass. So definitely check all that out if you are curious. So on to the attractions. So I'm going to show you here. And also I want to make clear that if you buy a ticket for Hersheypark Halloween, you also get entrance to Dark Night. So Just buy one ticket, you get to be at Hershey all day for the Hersheypark Halloween with the rides and everything, and then the nighttime with the haunted houses for Dark Nights. So I think that's a really awesome deal. It's a very good quality deal, and you're going to have a great night of fun. So like I was telling you, they have a slider showcase. Here's a picture of them, the Decayed Brigade. They do an excellent job. I really enjoy seeing their show. I already talked about having that in the corner. And here's just some pictures of like different things they have for food-wise. And then now I'm going to show you the map. So I'm very happy they have a real paper map. So I'm going to show you here. So they have an entirely laid out here with these big red bubbles with the letters for the haunted attractions, and then the smaller ones for all the rides and everything. So starting out, the first haunted attraction is the Haunted Coal Mine, which is right by Trailblazer. That is A here. So you can see here it correlates. Haunted Coal Mine right there. So that is the first attraction you can go to if you'd like to. You can do it whatever order you'd like, but I think it's best to do the Haunted Coal Mine, start at Trailblazer there, go up that hill, and then go back to the back of the park. And before you get to the way back of the park, go to the newest attraction, which is called the State of Evil, which is a brand new location for this year, which is right here with B right here, it correlates. And that is right past Fahrenheit. So right past Fahrenheit, before Tidal Force, that water ride, they changed that whole area into a scare zone called the Fallout Zone. Right after Fahrenheit, like right after it, you can still see the ride right there. Right past that, that's where the entrance to the State of Evil will be. So I recommend doing that one, then going to the back of the park, because then the descent is a little farther, and you can do the descent, and then the Twisted Carnival's right next to that, and the entrance to the abattoir, the slaughterhouse attraction Annie Mortem's, is right next to the entrance to Lightning Racers. So that's how I'd recommend doing it. Haunted Coal Mine, go up that hill, past Trailblazer, go to the back of the park, past Fahrenheit, do the State of Evil, descent, Twisted Carnival, then do the slaughterhouse last, because I think it's the best attraction they have there. Starting out with the Haunted Coal Mine, that is the first one I ended up doing, and I had a good time in that. I definitely enjoyed it. I did a video on it, and that's actually the only time I went through when I recorded it, so that's my only experience going through. I only went through once, and I did enjoy it. They did change up some scenes from last year. I like the endless floor effect where you can look down and it looks like the shaft is going down. You're like looking down, it's like a mine shaft. So that's a really cool effect. I really like that. I like the whole beginning where it's like they're taking you down in an elevator. That's fun. And I like it where you feel like you're going into another area and then you're in a cave, and there's lots of cool lighting effects and startle effects in there. I really liked all the scare actors in there. They were intense. I definitely really enjoyed the laser swamp area. That was well done with the scare actor in there. They had a lot of energy. Really enjoyed that. And the whole area where it looks like the mine is exploding at the end, that's really neat. I like how they did that with the lighting effects. And the one scare actor was laughing maniacally when I went in the area where it had the drill coming through the wall. So lots of really neat effects in that attraction, the Haunted Coal Mine, the Curse of Tommyknockers. This haunted attraction has very claustrophobic moments at points. They actually have the claustrophobia bags, so if you don't like those, this is definitely going to be a tough one for you to get through, because if you're really scared of claustrophobia, that might mess with you. Just letting you know ahead of time. But I did enjoy it overall. It was a fun attraction, and I like that they added a scare at the end. There's a chainsaw scare at the end with the slider. He has knee pads on so he can slide after you. So that was really cool, and I did a whole video on it, so you can check that out. Then I was given a fast track, like one fast track card for the State of Evil. So that was the brand new one. That wait was the longest for all the attractions, and I used that the second time I went through. The first time I actually just waited in the normal line, and it did take a while. I think it took maybe the estimated wait on the app. Definitely use the app. The app is very helpful. It tells you where everything is, and it will help you and tell you the wait times for all the haunted houses, and it's very helpful. It's actually very well done. And if you look on that, it'll tell you what the wait times for everything is. The wait time was estimated to around 40 minutes. I timed it on my phone, and I think it took around 30 minutes to get through in the normal line without the fast track. And that whole waiting area was very dark. They had some like moss hanging down above you, and I definitely think they could add to that experience and make it more fun by having a line actor in there trying to scare you, or if they had a voiceover telling you about the backstory of the State of Evil, trying to explain the backstory, or having projections of that. I think they could add on that maybe next year when they're working on that, but I definitely think that could enhance the waiting area so you're not just waiting in the dark. There were plenty of people there having fun talking to their friends, but I think it would add to the immersion and the storytelling if you had a voiceover playing. So I think that would be fun, added bonus to it. And once you go up to it, it looks like there's a mailbox, and then you go up to this beautiful facade of this mansion, and you go in. From start to finish, I really enjoyed the set design, and all the scare actors in here had plenty of energy. Really enjoyed them. They were totally in character, act like they were working at this mansion, and I really enjoyed it. It was really well done. I actually got vibes of a haunted attraction in Maryland called the Laurel's House of Horror. One scene in there in particular was like a beauty scene, one of the scare actors was portraying a woman that was getting ready for like a party and she had like blood on her face. That particular scene immediately brought me back to Laurel's House of Horror, and that's very much a compliment because I love that haunted attraction. So I really enjoyed the quality of it, and the scare actors are doing an excellent job in there. Lots of good quality jump scares. If you get distracted by the beautiful set design, they will definitely mess with you in there. Definitely a massive shout out to the scare actors in there that was portraying a character that was gambling, and they had the chips on the table and everything, and she was like, "This is all mine, I won this." And then there's a sound effect, and she has a fake dart in her forehead, and she acts like she gets hit by it. It portrays that she's dead and her eyes go dead. Like, she was doing an excellent job, totally in character, excellent acting right there. So massive shout out to you. You did a great job. All the characters in there did a great job. I love their energy. Definitely one of my favorites of the night. I'd say my favorite was the Slaughterhouse, and then I'd say the State of Evil. Like, they were both very well done. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed the set design, and the makeup and the costuming was all appropriate. And I loved in the State of Evil you could get separated and you could go alternative ways. So you could go through that haunted house multiple times and go a different way. So I loved that. And I went through it again after the first time because I loved it so much, and I used the fast track that time. That time I think it only took like 10 minutes to get in. It took a lot less time. And so you can get fast track if you want to for the haunted houses and make your wait time shorter if you'd like to do that, but I don't think it's necessary. Maybe if it gets busier, like in October, like on a Saturday night, it'd be necessary. But if you go on like a Sunday or something like that, it shouldn't be too bad. You should definitely just enjoy yourself, and just when you get there, you can actually get fast track at any point. You can upgrade, so it's really not a problem. You can just do it at any point. So if you wait in one line that's long and you're like, I don't want to do that again, just upgrade to the fast track and you'll be good for the night. The next attraction I went to was called the Descent Catacombs of Decay. This is a sequel to a haunt they had before, and this is definitely the darkest attraction out of all of them. I definitely think they should add some more pin lighting in there to make it a little easier to find your way. It's like call some like green pin lighting or red pin lighting to try to find your way through this. It gets very dark at times because people around me were having trouble finding their way out. So definitely think they could do that. But the scare actors in there are being intense. They had the death whistle kind of scare where they blow into it and it sounds like a loud scream. So that was cool. I like the scenes that were brighter lit, and they had the creepy scare actors in there that looked like she had like a custom like eye patch. It was like this cyborg eye patch thing. It was really interesting. I really liked it. It's on the marketing for the attraction. So it's definitely interesting look, definitely interesting character. I liked her aggression, and they definitely did add different effects in there. I like this scene where you're going under the grate and everything. That's interesting. And they have a really cool scene in there where it looks like you're going through like this blue laser swamp with like this cave area. So that's pretty cool. So it overall is a cool haunt. I definitely like the other ones more than this one, but I definitely think overall it is a fun time. And if you want to have a darker, more decrepit feel to your haunt, this is the one you want to go through. But I think the other ones are overall scarier, and I just had a better time in them. And next I went to the Twisted Carnival. And the Twisted Carnival was your classic clown funhouse. And there is excellent makeup in this haunted attraction. At points, they have the lighting go from normal lighting to black light lighting, and the scare actors have really good quality UV reactive makeup on, and it lights up really well, and I love that. I love at one point it looks like you're going outside of the carnival, and there's like flags above you and a whole bunch of different tents that are like the sword swallower and like the cannonball person and all those different things, and like a trapeze artist, like all these different signs and everything. And there's faux grass on the ground, so you feel like you're walking outside. And that one cannonball effect was awesome where the character pops out of there at you. That was so cool. I love that effect. And overall, just the intensity of the scare actors were really good. Great quality laughs and just overall being intense. And that mirror maze area was fun where you can see them through the mirrors and they come after you. So definitely a fun attraction. I love that they changed the ending of this attraction. It was entirely different from last year. So even if you went last year, it's entirely different. They made this brand new trippy area where it looks like the walls are bending into the floor. They actually have it custom built with the wood, so it looks like it keeps on continuing. I really enjoyed that effect. You go into this area and a scare actor said to look into this ball and he'll take over your soul, and it was really neat. I really liked that. So they definitely added improvements to this haunt, and I definitely enjoyed it. Went through this attraction multiple times throughout the night, and I had a great time. So definitely recommend going through this one. If you love that freak show carnival style attraction, you will have a fun time in this one for sure, and there's good star scares in there, so I really enjoyed that. Lastly, I went through the Annie Mortem's abattoir, and this was very gory. They tell you that ahead of time, and I went to this attraction twice, and I really enjoyed it. I did enjoy all the gore factor. You have to push through the fur of multiple animals at one point where it looks like you're pushing through the skin and the fur of different animals, and it's all gored up, and it's really cool. There's like crazy props of people going through like meat shredders and you see them shredded up, and it's really intense. And shout out to Brandy from Brandy Bees. She custom sculpted pig masks for Hersheypark. So these are unique pig masks you will not see at any other haunt attraction because she sculpted them custom for Dark Nights for Hersheypark. So that's really neat. Lots of good quality jump scares in here, ranging from drop down scares, from like window scares, the whole doors coming open, and I love the interactivity with the characters. This is another haunt where you can get misdirected or split from your group and go separate ways, so I love that. And I like that they added a new scene this year where you actually see Auntie Mortem. Like the name, you actually see her in the haunt this year, so that's really cool. They have a very detailed area, and she's at a desk, and she interacts with you and talks to you, so I really like that. And there's a vortex tunnel at one point, but it looks like it's blood smeared with like handprints, so that's really neat. And at points you go up steps and down steps, and they have a operations manager there making sure you're safe and going down. They have a flashlight. There is an area to go around that. If you have a wheelchair or a cane, they do have an area where you can go around the steps, so it is entirely ADA accessible, so that is really good quality. They make sure you're safe there. So it was a fun time. I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely enjoyed that one the most out of all of them. In the very end, you go through this butcher shop, and there's all kinds of Easter eggs on the names of different food items. You have to look through that for sure to have fun with all the details. And it's like this gore pile, and the gore pile comes alive and comes after you. So definitely a great time. So really enjoyed that. And my favorite scare zone of the night definitely was the Midway of Misery because of the sliders, and that show they put on was incredible. And one of my favorite scare zones of the night, a close second to the Midway of Misery with the sliders, was Darkstone's Hollow. They actually moved that because they are currently constructing the new swing ride they're making next year that's going to be themed to Twizzlers. And you go past that area where Creature Chaos used to go. Now that's where the scare zone is. And you go through there, and they have all kinds of really detailed props. They have plague doctors in there. They have a fire queen that'll do a fire show at one point. Very detailed, creepy monsters in there. They have an entire creepy monster that whole monster suit as well that was custom made by Brandy from Brandy Beast. Shout out to her again. And it was a fun time. I really enjoyed it. And I had a special tour with my friend Gary. He was scare acting in there. He did an excellent job, totally in character, giving me a tour, telling me watch out for these monsters and telling the monsters not mess with me, and introduced me to the queen. And he said thank you for having me be one of your people and work with you. And it was really awesome. Gary is always does such a great job. He's an excellent scare actor. Everyone in that zone was doing a great job being in character, being the monsters, being the creatures, being the plague doctors. Really enjoyed it. Very fun zone. Very well done. Very detailed. You could definitely take your time and stop and look at all these props, these oversized bees and this honeycomb, and it was really neat. I really enjoyed that scare zone. There was also the Fallout zone, which was really awesome. I love that zone because all the characters in there look like they have effects on them, like makeup effects on them, so they look like toxic waste got on them. And the energy of those characters excellent, ranging from people that actually had these props that made sound effects where it looks like they're checking you for radioactive material, like they're checking the meter on you. It's really cool. And definitely MVP of that zone was a scare actress that looked like she was one of the scientists, and she had a clipboard, and she would run after people and slam the clipboard on the ground, and it was so loud on the ground or the sidewalks and things, and it was really intense. She scared countless people. I actually told her and said, you are the MVP of this scare zone. You did an excellent job. And I got a picture of her by the Fallout Zone sign. And at points they had a fire show go off. And it was so good. So good. Characters are doing a great job in there. And there were fire effects in the Midway Misery in the very back of the park as well. So you will have a fun full night at Dark Nights. And if you want to take a break from the scares, they do have the ride. Some rides have the lights turned out as well. That's a fun part of Dark Nights. They have that as well. And there also is a part of the park where you can go around the scares. It's called the Avenue of the Afterlife. So you just have to follow that route, and it's an alternative route past the scares. So you don't have to get scared if you don't want to. And another way, if you don't want to get scared, you can buy this extra necklace that looks like a fun Hershey character, but like Halloween themed. And that will indicate to the actors, do not scare me. If you have younger kids and they don't want to be scared, that will be good for you. Or you're an adult and you don't want to get scared, that will be good for you. So, but I recommend going in, having a great time, trying to get scared, just fully immerse yourself into the environments and just have a great time. So thank you very much to Hershey for inviting me out. That was the Haunted Informer. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe and hit that bell icon so you get a notification every single time I put a new video. Give this video a thumbs up and share with your friends. And I am on social media, and you can find all those links below. And tell me about your experience at Dark Nights, and tell me which one of the attractions was your favorite. Tell me all about that in the comments below. And as always, happy hauntings.